Hello and welcome students to this lecture. In this particular lecture, we are going to see how to plot straight lines. Let us get started. So any typical equation of the form ax plus by plus c is equal to 0 is the equation of a straight line. So if you take a coordinate axis, let's say this is the y-axis, this is the x-axis, and we are given an equation of the format, let us say x plus y is equal to 1. Now we have to plot this straight line. To plot the straight line, the minimum number of points required are 2. So which are those 2 points? Of course, first I'm going to put x equals to 0. On doing that, I'll get y equals to 1. And if I put x equals to y equals to 0, I'll get x equals to 1. So this means that the point is 0, 1, and here this means that this point is 1, 0. Now let me mark these points. So 0, 1 is here and 1, 0 is here. We join this, what we get is the graph of this straight line. Let's take a few more examples. This time I have the equation as x minus 2y is equal to 6. So again the xy plane. Now technically if I put x equals to 0, I'll get a value of y. This value of y is actually called y-intercept. And if I put y equals to 0, the value of x that I'm going to get is called the x-intercept. So if I put x equals to 0, if you see minus 2y is 6, which means that y is equal to minus 3. The corresponding point is 0, minus 3. Over here, if I put y equals to 0, I'll get x equals to 6, which means that the corresponding point is 6, 0. Now I know these are the 2 points. So naturally 6, 0 is here, 0, minus 3 is here. So if I join these 2 points, what I'll get is the line. Now as discussed in the last lecture, that is the lecture of slope, we can also see that the slope of this is going to be positive because this is making an acute angle with the x-axis. Now if we have such an equation, then how do we find what the slope is? So it's a very simple process. Suppose the equation is given of the format ax plus by plus c equals to 0. The slope of this line is given by minus of a by b, which means that in this case it's going to be minus of a by b, which is half. That is the slope of this line. Let's take a few more examples. Let us say this time we are having the equation as x plus y is equal to minus 5. If I draw this line, clearly we can see that the x-intercept is going to be minus 5 because if I put y equals to 0, I'll get x equals to minus 5. If I put x equals to 0, I'll get y equals to minus 5. That means the corresponding point is minus 5, 0 and the other point is 0, minus 5. So join the 2 points and what we get is this line. Now the slope of this line is going to be negative. Why? Because it's making an obtuse angle with the positive direction of x-axis. So what is the slope? It means that the slope over here is going to be, if you rearrange it in that form, the one that I told you, minus a by b is the slope, which means that it is minus 1. Now when the slope is minus 1, we have learned that the corresponding angle is 135 degrees. Let's take a few more format of the lines. Suppose the line is of the form y is equal to mx plus c. Then we say that this equation is of the form slope and intercept. It's called the slope intercept form because it has the information of slope as well as the intercept. In this case, m is the slope and c is the y-intercept. So let us say this is the line that we're talking about, then this is the slope. So tan theta is m, and this corresponding point over here is 0 comma c. So this y-intercept is given as c. So suppose we are given an equation of the form y is equal to 2x plus 4. What it means is we have got a line like this, of which the y-intercept is going to be 4 units. That means this corresponding point is 0 comma 4. The angle over here, that is the slope theta, tan theta information is given to us as 2. M is 2. Let's take a few more examples in this format. Let us say this time we are given the equation as y is equal to x minus 4. You can clearly see that the slope is 1. That means the angle that it should be making with the positive direction of x-axis is 45 degrees. But then we also know that the c is minus 4, which means that the intercept is here, that is 0 comma minus 4 is going to be the point. This is 4 units from here. Of course, this is the origin. Now line should pass through this, and it is making an angle of 45 degrees with the x-axis. So naturally the line has to be like this, making an angle of 45 degrees. Now let's take an example with a negative slope. Let us say it's going to be minus 3x plus 5. This time around, I very well know that the y-intercept is going to be 5 units. So this point is going to be 0 comma 5. The line is passing through this. However, it's making a obtuse angle. It's making an obtuse angle with the positive direction of x-axis. So if I draw this line, the line is going to be like this, making an obtuse angle because we know that the slope is minus 3. Now we can have yet another example wherein it is not passing through any point. It is not making any intercept as such. That means there is no intercept in this case. Any line of this format is going to be looking like this. Now in this case, it is not making any intercept on the y-axis. So this line, you can clearly see C part is 0. If C is 0, then the line is of the form y equals to mx. So any line which is passing through the origin is given in the format y equals to mx. So suppose I tell you that the line is y is equal to x. You can see that the slope is 1. Theta is going to be 45 degrees. So the line is going to be exactly symmetrical about x and y axis. This angle is 45 degrees. So this equation is y is equal to x. What if it is y is equal to minus x? In that case, it is exactly perpendicular to this. And this angle that it will make is going to be 135 degrees. So the equation of this line is y is equal to minus x. Because number one, there is no y-intercept, so it's passing through the origin, and the slope is minus 1, which implies that the angle made with positive direction of x-axis is 135 degrees. Let's take a few more examples. Now if I compare y is equal to x and y is equal to 2x, how are the lines looking like on the coordinate plane? Now if this is my y is equal to x, which is making an angle of 45 degrees, obviously the one which is having the slope as 2 units is going to be looking a little more steeper because it has higher slope. So this is going to be some angle theta, and in that case we know that tan theta is minus 2 for this particular line because the slope is 2 units. What if we have a line now which is something like this? We can have a line like this as well. Let's say this point is 2, 0. But if you observe this closely, every point on this line will have its x coordinate as 2. So this will be 2 comma 1, 2 comma 2, 2 comma 3. This will be 2 comma minus 1, 2 comma minus 2, 2 comma minus 3, and so on. So we name this line as x equals to 2. Suppose we have the line this way, and this point is 0 comma minus 5. You can observe that every point on this line will be of the format x comma minus 5, because every y coordinate over here is going to be minus 5. So any random point over here will have some negative x coordinate comma minus 5. Every point over here on this side to the right of 0 is going to be having positive x coordinate comma plus 5. Sorry, positive x coordinate comma minus 5. So we name this line as y is equal to minus 5. If you have a line here, which is passing through 0 comma 2, obviously we are going to name this line as y is equal to 2. If you have a line here this way, which is vertical and perpendicular to x-axis, then we are going to name it as, let's say this point is minus a comma 0. We are going to name it as x equals to minus a. So now the question comes, if there is a line this way or this way, then what is the slope? So it's pretty easy to find out the slope. You can see that suppose this is minus a comma 0, and this point is going to be minus a comma something. Let's take it as y. So now the slope equation says y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. If we use this, y2 is going to be y minus 0 by x2 minus x1, which is the same. So this becomes 0, and you get this slope as not defined. Now tan theta is not defined for what angle? Obviously 90 degrees. Vice versa, you could have thought that because the angle is 90, tan of 90 is not defined. The slope of this is, you can say it's not defined or it's infinite. As far as this is concerned, you can see the angle that it is making with the x-axis is 0, hence its slope is 0.